Although former West New York Commissioner Ruben Vargas pleaded guilty to equity skimming in U.S. federal court last week, the Town Housing Authority will not terminate him from his head of security job since there was no mention of doing so in the plea agreement, according to Corporation Counsel.
After a brief closed session that only lasted a few minutes, former Board of Education and Commissioner candidate Pat Cullen, who now works at the town library, implored the board to fire Vargas as soon as possible.
This man is the antithesis of what I stand for. I'm a retired sergeant first class in the New York Army National Guard. I worked at Ground Zero for 3 months. After September 11th, I was in charge of access control. I had 12 access control points. I relied upon the trust of my fellow soldiers. They relied upon me. All right? And I don't need this man anywhere near my mother or anywhere near any other resident to have any type of position of authority for security. He has no qualifications for security. Where is his SORA license? I have a SORA license, at least I have. I believe it expired. All right? This man is not qualified for his job, and he's betrayed the public trust. So I would encourage all of you to please seriously consider terminating this man's contract. Now, I realize I'm on film, and I'm glad I'm on film. When I ran for commissioner, my tires were slashed about 5 or 6 different occasions, all parked by my house. And I'm sure they're probably going to get slashed again. But bad things happen when good people say nothing about this. I hope that you'll do due diligence, and please let your conscience be your guide, not political considerations. I'm aware of politics.
Hudson County View then addressed the board, seeking a more thorough answer as to why Vargas was allowed to maintain his employment at the Housing Authority.
I don't know if because of sentencing that precludes him from being terminated, but hopefully someone could explain that because, like the saying goes, it just doesn't pass the eye test. I mean, it just doesn't make basic sense, but maybe there is a good explanation, so I'd like to hear one if there is one.
Besides myself, he's the authority, it's attorney, the authority often employs specialists for special subjects, and we also have a labor lawyer who's very well versed in situations such as this. He's looked at the plea agreement that Mr. Vargas had entered into with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I've reviewed it as well. And we both concur there's nothing in the plea agreement that requires that Mr. Vargas forfeit his office. That was not a lapse by the U.S. Attorney's Office. They don't make mistakes. They are not, apparently at this stage, they're not requiring him to give up his office. In the near future, he's going to face the judge for sentencing. The judge may address that issue, and if he or she does address it and determine that he has to forfeit his employment, then we'll have no choice but to act accordingly. Until then, if we were to fire him, we'd be subject to a lawsuit. And that's the opinion of our labor attorney, as well as my opinion as well. Because there's nothing that forces us to terminate his employment.
According to the plea agreement, dated March 17th, there is no specific language that says Vargas, who earns about $35,000 annually as the head of security at the Housing Authority, is banned from holding public employment. Vargas' sentencing is scheduled for August 18th at U.S. District Court in Trenton, and typically the maximum sentence for equity skimming is a $500,000 fine and 5 years in prison. However, his plea agreement states that he cannot be sentenced to more than 3 years of supervised release or more than 2 years of imprisonment if he violates any of the conditions of supervised release.
I'm John Heides with the Hudson County View, the eye of the community.